Hey folks, welcome to the lab. Well, we got kind of a little different thing. Of course, the flashlights have been a different thing, but me and railroad lanterns. Yeah, see, this one had fallen into my lap. It was a package deal. I went for it, and I don't regret it because this thing is in an amazing shape. The paint job's really good, and it's 1929. And it's nearly mint for a little bit of bend. There's a little bit of a bend in some of the legs down here. That's about it. And the glass is broken. So I've been bummed about it. That's a Corning glass right there. That's a Corning CNX. That's Corning's Pyrex. So that's busted. I was bummed about that. So I've been looking for a globe. I happen to see this one online. The whole lantern was cheaper than I've been seeing just globes for, like on eBay and things like that. Now this is for the New York Central Station railroads, but that's all right. It's whole. It's New York, and it's Dietz Vesta. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the globes, and we're going to use this since it's missing its fount or its tank. Do you call it a fount? What's the railroad lantern? And the burner. There's no burner. So, and I think I'll be able to pick one of those up. I seem to remember one of the shops near me. When I say near, I don't know, within half an hour. I thought I remember there being a box of these sitting there, just the fuel cells. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna swap globes, and I'll get this baby cleaned up, and I'll pop that globe in it, and it'll just be a display piece until I can get a fuel cell. Again, terminology. Am I screwing that up? I don't know, but principles are the same for restoring. So, but this will be kind of a guinea pig for me to if I find one that's, this is the 1944, by the way. This is a wartime railroad lantern. So, all right, let's get to it. What do you say? I got to tell you, doing these kinds of lanterns are great for my setup here, especially for how far away my camera is from everything. And sometimes if I have really tall lanterns, it's really difficult to see top to bottom and do things. So this is great. This is great size for making my videos. So as you can see, this was once nice, beautiful, thick glass, and it's messed up there. And yeah, CNX from Corning. Corning apparently made a lot of railroad lantern. Oh, there you go, right there. Corning. So, interesting, different design there, right? Yeah, the lip on the bottom is thicker. So this one's got the lip on the bottom, this one's got the lip on the top. How interesting is that? All right, let's just make sure it fits, for crying out loud. Okay, how's that look? Beautiful. This is complete, and it's got a nice swirl through it. Look at that. Okay, so let's play with this thing. Get this out of here. So all in all, this is really not in bad shape, except for the crown here. And I'm curious, as I see that I had a spring loaded to hold the globe down. I don't think that comes out with any type of ease. It's okay. All right, I can work around that because, yeah, I can get in there and clean that up. The most difficult part is going to be cleaning this up here. And I mean, I know there's typing. I'm sure it's made in USA and probably New York on there. Dietz Vesta. Yeah, okay. And that is a matching globe for this. But, you know, again, we could always find another. I've seen a lot of those New York Central Station globes out there. Would be best case scenario would be to find one embossed with the with what's on this one, which is near and dear to my heart because this is the Buffalo, Rochester, and Pittsburgh Railroad. Because I'm in Rochester, so and this whole line went right through my town here where I'm in. So pretty cool. So I think before anything, I'm going to go straight to the big wheel and get all this off and the big chunks here and the big chunks in the wire because, boy, I tell you what, doing wire and cages and things by hand is a bear. So if I can get the big wheel to take care of some of that, that'd be great. So now I'm trying to figure out how this is bent. Is this bent up here? Or is it bent down there? That is a little crooked, isn't it? And there's some kind of rodent, I'm going to say probably a squirrel or chipmunk in the ceiling right above my lab desk here. By the way, you see a new addition here in the back. This I was at a flea market, no lanterns and stuff, but I did find this vintage cash register drawer. And it was all beat up, and it had just rained in the morning before I got there. So all the wood on the bottom of it all curled up and wrecked it. So the guy had the guy had $15 on it. And I go, oh man, that's the bummer about this. He goes, how about $3? So $3, I brought it home. I got it all sanded up. I Dremelled this, got it all shined up. And then I treated it with linseed oil, of course. And it looks great. And it's bigger than the one I had here before, which was actually, let me show you. This was actually for jewelry. This was a jewelry drawer. This is all felt. That's all white felt. And in a shop like this was brand new looking when I got it a couple months ago. And it just beat up. It just looks too beat up in here. So you can see it's a lot more, so much more room for activities. Okay, let's get to this thing. Yeah, I think there is a real good portion of this that I can get on the wheel. And the bales, I'm not taking the bale off here. It's just too many nice bends in here. And it's important that this thing is bend just right. So you can close her up like that. Inside looks fine. Yeah, just a couple areas of really bummer rust here and inside, up inside there. And it's definitely because the heat kind of removes whatever kind of protection that your metal has. Maybe that had a tin coating on it at some point, and I'm sure the heat just kind of cooked that off. That's why it's rusty here and rusty underneath there. So this almost has like a lead look to it. This gray metal, that means this is going to shine up just beautiful. I don't mean shine up. When I say shine up, I mean it's just going to look great when it's oiled up and all clean. I'm going to get it to the big wheel, and all right. Okay. Let's get to it here. gotta tell you, this thing cleaned up 100 times better than I thought it would. I mean, I feel like it's a different kind of metal. And speaking of metal, I have it in my finger. Yeah, wow. I think this is gonna shine up pretty darn nice. There's a lot of awkward corners and things like that for, I couldn't get the big wheel to, but yeah. And I got to figure out, just like the other Beverly lantern I got to figure out best way to bend something back here, because I could see that this one leg is bowed out just like my other one. So that one looks normal, and then that one's not. All right, well, we'll get it all fixed up, and then I'll think about trying to figure out how to, because with the other lantern, I wanted to make it look just perfect, because it was almost perfect. And I used a ratchet strap and 2 C-clamps across my desk here, trying to get the bend out of this bottom kind of, what would you call that? The bottom cage, yeah. Okay. So, let me find the right bit. We're going to start working on this with the Dremel. All right. Okay. So, let's start. Yeah. Let's start with 400 grit. I'm running out of 800 grit. I forget what the purple is. I forget. That might be 600. Yeah, I think it is. So we'll play with these. We'll see what that does with some of these big chunks. And I would probably keep a couple 180s. Still got some meat on them. Right. Let's see how that just does. So here's a deep thought. Thinking about this being the New York Central station line, 1944. Think about all the young 18-year-old troops shipping out, heading to New York by train to get on a big old boat. How's that for a thought? Deep, man. like I've said in past videos, holes like these holes here in this chimney will shred these nylon bits. They're delicate, but if you keep them on flat surfaces, so I don't mean flat, I mean not full of holes like this, they'll last a ton longer. Yeah, I'm liking the reach I'm getting on these lanterns. Wish they were all that easy. What is that in there? I can't get it. All right. All right, just some crap. Yeah. That's interesting. Oh, okay, that's like a buildup of like kerosene and mud. Or not mud, but oh yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here. Years and years of junk. Actually, it's wax. All right, well, maybe this thing was, yeah, that's loads of wax in there. This thing must have been without a burner in a tank for a long time. Could probably hit this with a torch. Oh, there is a real estate dispute, a borderline dispute between cats going on near me here. Yeah, maybe I'll take a torch to it after I get all the big lumps out. No, the good thing is that wax protected it. Protected it very well. Now, let's see what it does. That's wax, all right. And melt it up. And this won't re-solidify as quickly as solder does. I could probably get a bunch of it out. Oh yeah, that's working good. Good, yeah, I got a lot of it out. So, okay, I'll do this again and use my trusty chopstick. Get the big lumps. Oops. Ah, broke my chopstick. How dare you? All right, great. Yeah, a million times better there. All right, where was I? Okay, let's start working down here. Oh, that's got. All right, well, there is wax everywhere. Let's heat it up and find out. Yeah, you can see where it's all at. Wow. Yeah. Now that I look at it, I'm noticing that it's everywhere. No big deal. Okay, so let me get the wax off the table here. And all right, what bits was I using? Were these the purples? I think they were. All right, grab a couple more purples because they're working really well on this thing. Purple. This thing's cleaning up nice, folks, which is a delight because I didn't think it was going to amount to much looking at it. So it's becoming apparent to me that most of this entire video is going to be time-lapse because I just did so much grinding on it. And I apologize for that, but hopefully I will have found some entertaining bumper music that is royalty-free for y'all to listen to while I time-lapse the living hell out of this video. But, you know, if I cut out all this grindage, there wouldn't be any video. So, I don't know. All right. Oh, gotta get my straw out. This is my straw. Kind of keep it in my mouth so all this dust I'm blowing around, I can get rid of it. That way I know I'm not just sitting there going over a spot that's making dust. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, and I can't blow any of that out because I heated it, and now it's stuck to everything. So you have to do this little thing again. Oh. Well, boy, I just might have to go find this thing a proper globe. Well, how about I find my other one a proper globe for its railroad and put this one's proper back in. I guess, you know what? I'm gonna have to do that now. Gonna have to give this one its globe back. Hate to say it, but I hate to leave that unresolved like that. Now, I want the input of a professional before I try bending this stuff back. I need to know. And this is going to be hanging. It's going to be hanging somewhere, so this is not the biggest deal. This is not a deal breaker. This will be hanging. But, all right. So, got some super new steel wool here. Let's start steel wooling. And I can do another time lapse, but maybe I can find something constructive to talk about. I got nothing. So these cold blast versions of these railroad lanterns are starting to grow on me. But the thing is, they're, on average, they're substantially more expensive than the budget I have for kerosene lanterns, which is abundantly less than these things go for. And like I said, I bought this thing for its globe, and this thing all by itself with the globe in it was cheaper than just globes I'm finding online. Purely because, I mean, this thing, you know, it didn't have a fuel cell to it, and I'm guessing. But I'm not going to be necessarily on the lookout for these. But this plopped itself in my lap, and so did the other one. And maybe I like these a little bit more now that I worked on one. And checking out how they're made and what they do. And I just, you know how I love lanterns with a story, and now the story is in my head that this thing, you know, conductor was using this on a train full of young American men on their way to New York City to, you know, take a large ship off to war. So there's something that maybe I'll put in this video. There's something I've been wanting to test out, and this lantern will be a perfect thing to test it on. And there's an idea I have for cleaning out air tubes that may have had, and I've noticed that, you know, all it takes is one insect to build one of their nests up in here. You know, a cute little pillowy looking cotton-like nest that just one insect will make in an air tube, will screw it all up. And that insect nest will stay in there for ages. I even had that on my barbecue grill that I have outside. I had bought it at auction. It was used and everything. And I was all excited. I went and got some steaks and some corn on the cob and some squash to grill up. Went out there, hooked the tank up and everything, and couldn't get any flame out of it. It was all coming up like underneath. This was a Coleman. It's one of those portable 2-burner stoves, and it's got 2 wheels, and you can pull it around and take a camp with you and stuff. Not a tabletop one, but it's a roll-around one. And I'm like, oh, this son of a gun! I went and bought this thing, blah blah blah, new tank and food and all that kind of crap, and it wasn't working, and so I had to tear the whole darn thing apart. And all it was one bug in each air tube. I don't know if you know the way gas burners are set up. There's just an airflow. There's like an open, like the gas goes in there. Sorry for this analogy, but it's open here to let air in, to mix with it, to turn for your flame on your burner. So all it took was one little bug in that air tube to make it so it wouldn't work. Enough to block it where all that gas was coming out in a spot that was where it's not supposed to. So, been trying to come up with ways, because looking at kerosene lantern, it's gonna be a real pain in the butt. You have to take the chimney out and everything to get at the air tubes to be able to put something down in there. But I'll show you this little idea I have. Okay, once again, let me clean up. This was a whole pillow of steel wool. Okay, let me clean this up, and we'll treat. Okay, so, and something new I'm doing before I treat is making sure I brush off all the steel wool dust, because that steel wool dust could very well get caught up in the oil, kind of suspended in it, and then sit there and oxidize all over your lantern. And I have a feeling that that's happened on a couple of lanterns. It's kind of like a secondary flash rust, you know, like a double doozy. Okay. Yep, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to, it's gonna look nice. I am gonna have to give this thing its glow back, because it matches. So let's do some treatment. Let's do some oil treatment here. We'll see how the oil changes the attitude of this. Okay, let's do it. All right. Oh, I ruined this brush earlier today. I was using it on a piece of a big old bird cage, a vintage bird cage holder, a stand for an old bird cage. And I was going to repurpose it to hold a lantern. And it was very rusty. It had been on my front porch for 20 years. And getting in all the wrought iron spots with this. I mean, this is a prime candidate for flash rust. These like this bale wire stuff, very vulnerable to it. I mean, I could go look at, there's a couple lanterns in my living room. I can go and look at them And I could tell by looking at them where I missed putting oil. Because it was rust there. Now this had all that wax preserving it in here, but it's all gone. All right, so let's do a wipe down now. All right, so it is, I don't know if you want to call this polishing time, but I mean, it's kind of like buffing, like a buff and wax, but that makes it sound like I want it to necessarily shine. I don't. I kind of want a satin look. I don't like the wet look at all on antiques. I think it looks silly. I think it looks like it's like some desperate kid putting piles and piles of extra armor all over his tires, and so they look like they're they just look like they're, I mean, even wetter than wet. That's a desperate cry for help. And this is doing like kind of like a final cleaning too, like an extra cleaning, removing the excess oil. The oil's picking up things. Okay. Oh, so while I have you here, folks, and I'll put this down in the description that we're trying this out. So here's my idea. I don't know where I heard this before, if I heard it anywhere. So I got this stuff. Same stuff here, same stuff you see on dog tags and such. So, because it's a weighted chain and it's incredibly flexible and will not get caught anywhere, this would be an idea. And this is such an easy example for it. Like I said, any of the other lanterns that I've done on here, it just would be a total pain in the butt. But, so, you just take this weighted puppy here, however much you want to put down there, and then you just kind of wiggle it around. Yeah. See that? So it comes down the bottom there. And so you have this at a certain length, and you cut it, and you wad up like a piece of rag or something on the end. Or you take, say, one of these pipe cleaners, like a real bristle pipe cleaner, not one like for kids' crafts because they don't have the bristle in them. Take one of them and kind of curl it up, you know. And you put it through the air tube and you just kind of go. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So, while we're here, we might as well check them both. How's that for an idea, folks? There, comes right out the bottom. There. So there you have it. You get something like that I forget what this is called. But it's the same stuff for dog tags around your neck. So, yeah. So I wonder maybe even one of these, you can make a hook out of that. No, that won't work. We are treated. We're all good. It's too bad we couldn't fire this baby up. But yeah, I think we need to put. It's only right that we give it its globe back. Because it is a match. Yeah. There. Give this baby back. And this doesn't look awful. You'll miss it if you don't look too close. Only problem is it would really screw up the airflow if I wanted to fire this up. All right. Well, folks, how about that? This turned out a lot better than I thought. That's great. I mean, it's worth keeping around now, not just like putting in a junk pile. So, all right, let's take a look. So here we are. So that's got its CNX, made in U.S. back there. That's okay. At least it doesn't look gaudy or weird, or it's not like a big jagged crack through there. So there, and that matches. Yeah, great. So folks, boom. That is it for today's project. And when I went over to the grinding wheel, I tripped over the next 3 projects I have lined up. And there's more after those, but I had to pick and choose and figure out what's next. So I'm down to 3. I'm going to have to draw straws. See. So, folks, thank you so much for stopping by the lab here. And as usual, don't you go changing.